never heard of MJML before, you're definitely not alone. I just recently discovered that it existed last month. In this video, we're going to look at what it is and how this markup language makes what we're trying to do even possible. So MJML is a markup language that was actually created by Mailjet, and it has been around since 2015. They have a GitHub repository. You can access it through regular development methods, NPM and stuff like that, but we're not going to go into that because we're keeping this low code, no code. But all of the documentation, for which there is a lot, is available. They have a app as well. I have it for Windows, and you can basically create your MJML documents and see a preview of what it looks like as well, which is super helpful. What you'll notice about MJML is it's a markup language very similar to HTML. Unfortunately, you can't just take an HTML document and put it into the mail to email, because that's not possible. So this markup language is meant to basically make that easy and also responsive, which is kind of the whole point, is it's making all of these emails responsive, so you don't have to do anything to them. And that is kind of the beauty of what it is, and it makes what we're doing possible. So first off, what you probably want to do is go through the documentation. So you can find mjml.io. You can get the app and the download. You can do the documentation. They even have various templates, which are quite handy if you want to kind of see how things are being built in MJML, because this is not going to be a course on how to build MJML. Maybe we'll do that at some other time if it's necessary, but this is really about putting all of the pieces together. So they have all these templates, and when you go into the templates, it gives you, much like they have this online version as well of this, or that you can do the templates from online, that kind of thing. It's an online editor, or you can use the app on your computer. So there is so much information as far as what MJML provides. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm using Visual Studio, but you can use any code editor that you want. One thing to keep in mind is that when we're putting this into Xano, at least with Xano, we have to basically truncate all of the code so that there's no spaces between the elements. Within the elements, you can have your spaces and regular things, but the elements themselves. And so if we were to transfer this right into Xano like this, it doesn't work. It adds special characters because it considers it text, and it changes that to text-based stuff. So that is an important note right off the bat. But I want you to take a look at what this kind of is. And that is, so we have, MJML has a head. So it's very similar in regards. And in the head, we've got basically some class. We want some styles. Now I'm using MJ class. I found that to be the easiest thing for me to be able to understand and use. There's actually various ways of adding styles, and you can even use fonts. If you've got a CSS font sheet, you can do all kinds of different things with this. This particular demonstration, part of this was figuring out if this was even going to work, so I kept it very straightforward. Let's put it that way. So what we're going to do is, I'm just showing you here. So we've got all of that information in our head, and then we have a body, and the body is going to have these replaceable sections. So what we've got here, so for instance, if we go into our intro section, let's take a look. And so in a section, we have columns, and then we have things within the columns. And so that is basically the MJML structure of things. Is you have a section, you have a certain amount of columns in a section, and then each column can span 100% or whatever the column width that you want. So that is how it keeps it responsive automatically. And so we have things like spacers, we have there's some button things in here. What we're doing is we're kind of setting up this kind of framework. And so let's just see what this looks like. So I'm going to just delete this, as this is our whole MJML full. So I'm just going to copy and paste this over to our app. And of course, there's nothing here right now. All we have is we have our head with the class information, and we have basically these empty sections. And as you see, it even gives you if you're got some errors in your code, which is super handy. But let's pop in our intro section and see what happens. So we've got our intro section here. Back here. Just paste that. And so we've got now our content, and we've got some dynamic content going to be coming in here, including our image. And so this is kind of our hero section, our newsletter head. So it's going to be somewhat simple. The next section we're going to do is this new releases section. It's got two parts to it. So let's just take a quick look and see what that looks like, and then we'll fill in magically the rest of it after, because it all kind of follows that same pattern. But so for anything that's dynamic, where we don't know how many of something is, or if the number is going to change over a period of time, or even if we just have a couple of them, we're going to do two things. We're going to first insert the section. So let's just do that first. And then for each item, we're going to insert and in replace in here. So this is how we're going to be compiling things. But we're doing it based on each item being a column within the section. So if we go here, we're going to take this column, which is our item, and we're going to pop that in the insert here. And we can, there's one. If we wanted to put another one, we can do that. And we can actually, I think, probably have it 3 wide is where our design is. So we've set that up. Dynamically, this is going to just kind of increase as we get more of them or less of them. That's how it's going to operate. I'm just going to take out everything except for one. Is that? Nope. So that's just kind of an important part to like make clear, is that we're going to be doing it in kind of 2 parts. Anything that's going to have multiples of something, we're going to do that. But the next little bit, I'm just going to fill in automatically, so we can just see what our finished template kind of looks like. And magically, we have everything all filled in here, and we have our template. Now, keep in mind, this is a simple email template. I will make the code available for you probably in a GitHub repo, but I just used the other templates and figured out some of the pieces, as well as went through the MJML docs to figure out most of this. So there's a lot more that you can do with it. You can create carousels. You can do a lot of things with MJML as far as look and feel of your newsletter. So it kind of just depends on how creative or custom that you really want to go with this. And the only kind of thing that I was trying to really convey in this is that we need to just break it up into chunks. So we have our full, and then we basically have a file each for our sections. And that's really what it comes down to. That way, if we want to do something different to the section, we are just dealing with that section, and we can also just deal with that section in Xano as well, or whatever we're using to compile everything. So next we're going to jump into how to put this together in Xano and take this code and compile it all in Xano with our dynamic data.